Hey, Omid here. This week on the Deem stream, I finally got the chance to speak with two of my close friends, Tarun and Shilp. They're exceptionally passionate and gifted within STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Within those fields, they've had the chance to compete in multiple science fairs and math competitions across the country. Not only this, the two, along with some other founding members, have started a youth-run organization called Mission Math Utah, which is dedicated to spreading their love of math among Utah communities and children. We also talk about their high school lives and what they feel is important in becoming a successful student and person. Okay, my name is Omid, and this is the Deem Stream. 3, 2, 1. Legend says, many months ago, we recorded a podcast.
I do remember that, dude.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
what
don't know.
happened?
I really don't know what happened to it. Some kind of water damage to the computer. Who knows?
Sorry.
Or maybe I just didn't want to record it.
Maybe.
Post it.
Maybe.
Okay, welcome to the show. Tarun, Shilp, who are you?
All right, I'll go first. My name is Tarun. I'm one of Omid's really good friends. We go to the Waterford School together. I'm currently a junior there and speaking to you from my house on quarantine. I'm just a kid who likes STEM, math, those kinds of subjects. May contrast with Omid's interest, but that's what I love.
All right. I'm Shilp. I'm a senior at Waterford. I'm also one of Omid's really good friends. And I'm also social isolating 6 feet away. And I am a STEM kid, but I like to find the beauty in art as well because I think that it's important. Like the intersection between those two disciplines is really important to me.
Do you really think
I
that?
agree.
I really do. I think
Okay.
math plays a big part.
It's great to
in
hear.
art.
Well, how are you guys feeling about the whole coronavirus thing? Do you like it? Do you like being home or no? What's it like?
Oh, I wouldn't say I particularly like the coronavirus. It's not a great thing for this world, but social isolating is getting kind of dull. School's getting kind of boring, but it's for the greater good. So I feel proud to
Yeah,
be a social isolator.
What about you, Tarun?
definitely. I think that these kinds of measures are definitely necessary, especially for a disease that's transmitted human to human very easily. Social distancing is the most viable thing that our world can do because there is no vaccine yet. So, and I think like a lot of people do complain about it. That's justified because they can't see family, they can't do their normal activities, but it's what our world needs to prevent the spread of the disease. So,
Hmm. Okay, well that's great. Good to hear that. Um, so last time on the podcast, we decided to talk about a little bit about your experiences with school, and how you guys approach it, and uh, just your feelings about school in general. Talk to me about that. I mean, what makes you a different student from the rest?
I
Do you
mean,
feel different at all, or are you just a normal student?
I would say I'm just like, a normal student. I wouldn't say that like I'm exceptional or I'm different. Like I'm a normal student. I feel like I work hard and there's nothing extraordinary about me, but that's just how it is. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, in my case, I guess like it's pretty similar. Like I know Shilp and we like both work really hard because we like enjoy academics and that's what we want our future to be in. Like could always be involved in like learning and things like that. So we value education a lot. But that's something that like we've grown to see throughout our lives, like in school. I've switched up to a bunch of different schools. It's something that I've come to see. And specifically about me, yeah, I don't know if like I don't want to like classify myself as exceptional or anything like that. I don't know who would do that. But I just think I'm a hard worker and I just see the value in like putting an effort into school.
Yeah. What has the balance between social life and school been for you? I mean, how has that felt for you?
I'll go first. I think it's been a lot easier balancing social life with school when the people in your social circle also are equally focused and hardworking. You know, I like interacting like with a lot of people. I would say that, I talk to a lot of people, but my closest friends are all like, they do care deeply about succeeding in academics and putting in the work. And I think it makes it a lot easier because everybody's there to kind of build you up and lift you up when you need that. And it makes it a lot easier to balance social life and academics.
How has that narrowed your social circle? I mean, how many people do you consider to uh, work as hard as you guys do?
I think like I don't like really judge my friend circle off of like the level of effort they put. I mean, like that factors into it. Obviously, I want friends that like I don't want friends that like go off and just don't care about school at all. Like being friends with Deem has really shown its perks because he's just one of the most ambitious guys I've ever met, and that's obviously someone I want to be like surround myself with. And for that reason, like there's not a lot of people specifically who fit into like my specific type of like humor and that I can get along with really well. So I would say like my friendship circle is pretty small for that reason, but
Mm.
also like it doesn't really matter to me if my friends are geniuses or whatever, as long as we can just like get along and have fun together. So
Yeah, talk to me about how you two met.
Man, that was
um
like
I think I'm pretty sure Shilp and I met in like a religious class that our parents forced us to take when we were younger to see
like
like to
quite
be introduced to Hinduism. And then from there, like we became good family friends. And then like Shilp, I came to Waterford after a while, and then from there it's just yeah, we've been friends for a long time.
And what about kind of your STEM interests and your math interests? What kind of sparked that for you guys? Why are you both so into that?
I guess for me, it's just like since an early age, it started with my parents. Like my parents definitely pushed me towards STEM. I think that's kind of it's a more typical route, especially for like Indian immigrants. They value STEM a little bit more in terms of like future, and that's just kind of how it is. And it might be stereotypical, but it's true. And so they kind of pushed me towards STEM when I was younger. And so then I grew a greater appreciation for it when I grew older. And then I really just I became really passionate about STEM in general as I became more responsible for my own like success and well-being.
Yeah, Tarun, before you go, I want to ask. So when you said that your parents put you into it at a young age, did you want to do it at the time, or were you just thinking like this is the only thing I know at the time to do, and so I'm just gonna work on this? Or like, what did you feel?
Um, I don't remember. I don't remember my exact feelings. They definitely pushed like fairly hard, not like abusively Tiger Mom style, but like they definitely pushed me to do good. And there were times where it kind of got tough, but I think from that, parents are supposed to guide you, and I think they guided me really well in my early stages of life.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think like my main answer to this would probably be Kumon. And I know like all three of us, Deem
Well,
included,
what's
have like gone
Kumon? What's
through.
Kumon for
Yeah,
people listening?
sure. Kumon is like an educational programming for math and reading. It's usually just kids start at a young age and like progress through levels and learn like school math concepts and just like go beyond grade level usually. And personally, like my mom owns two different franchises of Kumon. So obviously that's something that was like pushed in my household when I was younger. So we always had to like finish Kumon every day. And like I was never good at the reading side really. Like I would always just get constant like fails on every single reading worksheet. But the math, like I was like progressing pretty fast. And from there, like I just like increasingly liked math more than other subjects. And then like I'm moving into like my beyond like elementary and like into middle school, I did like started doing math competitions because it's something my older sister was involved in, and that like passion grew a lot. And in high school, I've just been working with like science research, stuff like that I'm interested in. So that's like introduced me to different areas of STEM overall. That's like a lot
Mhm.
about how I became interested.
Yeah. How have you guys felt about kind of the popularity of math among like the youth in Utah? Or at least when you were younger, what was it like? How has that changed over time?
Well, I'll take this one. So when I feel like specifically for math education, like going to like other countries in the world for a second, like there are some countries that really push STEM education over art. Like I know that's like China and like traditional Asian countries, which is a little bit about why Shilp and I's parents like think that like STEM value STEM a little bit more, but like they can still see the value in everything. And like I feel like especially with the large increase in immigration in that time, so that like a lot of our parents and kids our age specifically have now parents who like came to America, started a family. That's like eight from Asia, especially. That's they like push the STEM education. And so I feel like from that point, like our generation is started to really embrace like math topics and STEM topics overall. But like that's something that always has room for improvement. And I know like the United States in general is like working more hard to like incorporate more artistic elements of school into like the education system. So like overall, there's like a good balance, I feel now.
And just kind of like on a more personal side, like as we were growing up, like we both participated in like math competitions, and we were like in STEM communities. And when we were there, like, you know, we found a kind of a common link, so it was like easier to like make friends and like connect. But then at least for me, coming out of middle school, I didn't do as many math competitions anymore. And taking a look back, um, the community is kind of small compared to, at least in Utah, it's been pretty small and underrepresented. And so, you know, that's something that we actually set out to change. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, what did you do to change that? Have you guys worked to do that?
So yeah, so Tarun's sister, it's Nisha, when she was a junior, right? It was a junior. When she was a junior, she founded, along with me and Tarun and some other members of some of other high schoolers, founded Mission Math Utah, which is basically a student-run 501c3 organization that tries to expand awareness for competition math and STEM in general among youth in Utah.
Tarun?
Yes, some of the things that we do specifically are hold camps and competitions. And in the camps, for example, we hold like multiple days, and we work with several students from across the state of like all different backgrounds and all different capabilities to like introduce or either introduce or advance their current mathematical like competition mathematical knowledge. And so those camps and competitions are focused on the competition side of math, and all the proceeds that we earn from these camps and competitions are donated to STEM organizations around Utah that some that people our employees are passionate about, or overall organizations that are in need of donation. And something else that we offer is like a weekly club that's just free, and that's just for anyone who wants to come and learn more concepts about math that can help them in the competitions that take place around Utah or our competitions, or overall just introduce these concepts to them.
Mm-hmm. I'm just out of curiosity. What is what kind of students join Mission Math, and like how do they find out about Mission Math? Is it their parents, or like you said earlier about like immigrant parents and their having their kids do STEM? What kind of kids join your organization?
So, given that like these are mainly elementary and middle school students, a lot of our networking and outreach goes through parents. But we also talk to a lot of school administrations, and we kind of and math club coaches and other people kind of directly involved with other students who would be interested in maybe exploring competition math. So that's where a majority of our students come from. And I would say, in response to like what the demographics of our students, a lot of them are Asians, but it's a healthy balance. We're not overwhelmingly one demographic category. And I think that's important to us because we really want to represent all sorts of um, diversity in our organization.
Talk to me about like one particular student that you've had. Do you have any kids that have stood out at all? Or, I mean, what do you think about, uh, like, I know that you guys are more interested in math than art, but I know that you find art very important.
Yeah,
Do you
definitely.
think, do you think that math is something that you grow to love? Because I know that a lot of students just never like math, and
Yeah.
I think that's because they view it as something that's really difficult, and they just
Yeah.
give up. So, what's the difference between a student that gives up and a student that turns out like you guys who really enjoy math?
So I think like after like teaching math for a while, you come to realize that a lot of the students who aren't successful with math, they're the ones who like don't have an interest in in the first place, and just have like really pushy parents that like just want their kids to compete. And I know like this might offend, that saying that might offend like some parents, but it's just a fact. Like if your kid does not have an interest in the first place, they're never going to become good at it. So, and like that the kids who like some kids that like just have natural talent, like abilities, like be way beyond their grade level. And some kids like really have a passion for math and work hard to get to that level. And those two types of kids are the ones that tend to really succeed and have a passion for math. And like I've seen that so much throughout like the camps and competitions we hold. Like some kids will just have the attitude like, I don't want to be here. My parents are just forcing me to be here. I really don't want to do this. Like obviously math is never going to come easy to them because they don't want to learn it. And like that relates to any subject, I feel like in school.
Yeah. So
So
you feel like it's the parents' force that kind of makes them more rebellious towards doing math. You say that kids that don't want to do math, it's those kids that don't actually enjoy it. I mean, do you think it's possible to change a kid's mind to make them actually enjoy math? Like, what does it take?
I think that's almost one of the main missions of Mission Math. If there are students, there are obviously students who are like, I despise this. But I also think that there are students who have kind of had the wrong approach to math, and they've been introduced to the subject in the wrong way. And like one of the main aspects of Mission Math that makes it such an good organization for fostering this development is that we're all student run. We're all students who have been through like this math competition experience. We've all been exposed to it. So we're not pushing with any motivated agendas. We're not these teachers that you can't relate to, these teachers that you will chastise you for getting something wrong or like say you aren't working hard enough. Competition math has been fun for every single member of the staff of Mission Math, and I think what we do is we try and share that. And if you see our competitions and camps, you'll definitely see that. I mean, we take a focused but light-hearted approach, and I've seen that makes the kids work harder because if they're having fun while learning math, that's what they do, and they associate them together, and that's kind of the good foundation for them to build on.
Hey, I just wanted to say a couple things about Deem and the Deem stream before we get into the next half of this episode. If you're someone who has an idea, an opinion, a story, a creation, or have anything else you feel the need to share, no matter what it is, the Deem stream is where you can share with the world. And the cool thing is, you can be any age, it does not matter. There are no strings attached, just a simple conversation with me that gets your voice out into the world. To apply, simply go to deemplatform.org, DEEM platform.org, and let me know what it is you have to share with the world. All right, that's it. Back to the episode. What's the importance of competition, do you think, in math? Is it something that you really advocate for?
I think like every child should at least experience competition math, or like what competition in whatever type of field they're interested in. It's just like a good experience to like prepare them for how the real world is going to be, like give them a small introduction to how um like you need to work hard to achieve things. And like especially with competition math, my experience has been like I've been just so motivated to advance my math skills, because like I do want to win awards. Like that's what personally motivates me, but I also have that passion for math. And I feel like that is like so applicable to I have several students, like music competitions. I know like Deem works really hard with music, because that's something that he's passionate about, and he does like he like has obviously won awards for that as well. And I think for these kids, sometimes it can be really stressful. I know that for sure. When you're younger, you go into a competition, you see like some of your friends, and like it gets competitive, definitely. But I think it's so important to just have that experience, so you know like how the real world works. And like if you don't like it, you don't like it. Go find something else that you like. If you don't like competing in math, but it's an experience that every child should have.
So, like you said, if you don't like it, then go do something else. But like you guys said, I mean, what if your parents want you to keep doing that? And what do you do about
That's
that?
gonna be so. That's gonna be a big problem for like, and I've seen that like so many kids just keep getting pushed into it when they really just don't have an interest for math. And I like at my weekly club, I like teach kids who just come and just like fool around the entire time. And that's just because they don't have an interest for math, and there's nothing against them. Like they're great kids, but they just don't want to be there. And I think like I know I'm not one to like tell parents how to parent, but if your child is just not interested, like try to find something else, because they're definitely interested in something. So it's not going to work out. It's just not going to work out if your child's not interested in it.
Yeah. So you don't take any responsibility when you have a student at Mission Math that doesn't enjoy math. I mean, do you feel any bit of responsibility for that and kind of trying to change their mind at all, or?
I think, yeah, no, we obviously, we want to try and make them enjoy math, and we have our own approach to that. But if they're truly not passionate about math, then it's just something that they're going to be resistant to. Like, I can, let's say, I don't know, I'm really not passionate about architecture, So if you sign me up for like an architecture course, and you're like, oh, it's so fun, you get to design your houses, I still would not want to be there. Or like fashion, like that's just not something that I see myself being passionate about. And so I would be completely resistant. There wouldn't be really any way to change my mind. So we take responsibility for trying, but if they don't feel passionate about math, that's just how they are, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Go
And
ahead.
Deem, something I want to go into is specifically like, I know like Shilp and I are really advocating for like working hard, and that's something we've been talking about since the start of our stream. And like I know you mentioned something about social life, but like I know like Shilp and I cannot stress enough like how important it is to be driven simultaneously with having that social life and having activities like at both athletic and social that you can really enjoy in your life, because it really does like improve your performance in like in everything. So especially like
So
with these
yeah.
kids, yeah.
So I mean, like then what is the difference between a student who doesn't have a social life or as much of a social life as you guys? Like you said, there's success. I mean,
Yeah.
what makes a social life give you the ability to be more successful?
Honestly, it's just like stimulation. After a while, like you need to do different things in order to be focused on everything. Like if you work all the time, you get so numb to everything else. And above all, success in whatever field you're in is great, but you need to be like a productive member of society. And if you're going to exclude everyone from like your social circles, if you don't know how to talk to people, if you don't know how to interact with people, it really, really limits how you contribute to the world. And at least for me, contributing like overall to the world is one of the markers of like the greatest success you can have is you're giving back in your own way and diversifying like your social life, athletics, even music, even downtime and studying. If you find a healthy balance, that's the optimal way of gaining success.
Yeah. How long did it take you guys to find a healthy balance, or did it come naturally for you?
Well, I mean, like, since I was young, it's not like my parents haven't really restricted me hanging out that much. Like, obviously, I don't like go out every day. Like, I was like not a person who just was like allowed to just like leave the house whenever they want and just go play with my friends when I was younger, even. And like, but like, obviously, my parents still like allowed me to like spend time with my friends when I was in elementary school, and that like really helped. Just like, and I growing up, like I was always pretty athletic. Like I was pretty fat for a while, but like that motivated me to like lose a bunch of weight and like just overall like athletics, and that athletics has just been a huge part of my life and allowed me to find that balance. Now playing tennis, like I know all three of us are on the tennis team. Tennis is something that like we can go out and play just for like a mental relaxation because we do have like very busy days, and that's something that really helps me, keeps me motivated to focus on my work after I go out and play tennis, racquetball, whatever. Finding that balance is so important.
Yeah, I agree. What else do you guys love to do? What are your personal hobbies besides math? I know you guys talked a little bit about tennis, but what do you like to do in your free time?
So like tennis, you know, I guess an efficient like I've developed an affinity for like racket sports. Like ping pong is really fun. It's because you're like right across from people. So ping pong. I recently got into racquetball. It's a lot of fun. And tennis, obviously. Outside of that, I still like watching TV shows, and I have a dog. I'll go walk my dog, just hang out.
Yeah.
I don't know how I don't have any really quirky hobbies that make me interesting.
Philip's not a quirky
Nothing
guy.
weird.
I'm not quirky like that, but
All right, then get out of here, Tarun.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, my interests are pretty similar to Shilp's. Like racket sports, I love racket sports, every single one. I mean, ping pong, that's something like that I've been playing for so long. Like it's something that my friends and I like we have like these deep conversations at my ping pong table every time that like we play at my house. So that's something that's like been really fun to me, just like spending time with my friends on the ping pong table. Beyond that, like I'm like not the type of person who's super outdoorsy, so that's not one of my main hobbies. I don't enjoy skiing with Shilp because he like tends to peer pressure me into like ridiculous jumps. But
And we both know that Shilp sits
dude,
on the toilet when he
I'm
skis.
such a good.
yeah, Shilp,
I
He
Shilp
leans
enjoys.
back, and that's
I
that's
don't
the
lean
worst thing
back.
you can do.
Tarun crosses his skis, man. I actually am a decent skier.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Get off.
I do want to say, Tarun, you have gotten so much better at skiing, though, and I think it's
Hey,
great.
thanks, Deem.
I think
Thank you
it's
so
great
much.
that no, I think it's great that you guys have done this with Mission Math and you're trying to help kids out. I have one more question for you, and I ask all my guests this. If you kind of have one piece of advice for kids struggling in high school or elementary school that maybe don't like math or do like math, I mean, what's a piece of advice you give them to take along the road?
Yeah, so this is something like this is a really good question and something that I wanted to address earlier. And like overall, this is a topic that I've discussed with Deem a lot. And like high schoolers and typically any student that's like really hardworking usually want to tend to work towards college. And that's something that's like influenced by your parents a lot, working towards college. But something that I've realized like recently and just in general throughout high school is working towards your passions is so much more important than working towards college. I mean, like you're going to be more successful. Just don't force yourself into something that you really aren't passionate about just because you think it looks good on your college application. I know like the reason people that just assume that about me and Shilp, that we're just doing all this for college, but this is something that Shilp and I, it's like a gigantic part of our lives and we've loved it since we were young. and even for those of you in elementary school who are listening, because I know there's so many of you, I think that like right now, just be respectful to your parents, as they just want what's best for you. As you grow up, they'll start to realize the things that are really important in your life, and you can start making those decisions for yourself. But for now, just follow your passions. I mean, that's what Deem's all about. So go Deem.
Great.
Yeah. I couldn't have said that better. I think that starting off with, the younger kids, elementary school, I did a lot of things when I was younger, obviously math, but like I dabbled in a lot because it's hard to know like what I'm truly passionate about. I might find something like soccer and I think I'm good, and then I find tennis and I just have a better affinity for that. So do a lot of things when you're younger, because I as you grow older, you should start finding things that you're really passionate about. You don't need to be passionate about everything. You need to be passionate about one thing. If you're passionate about one thing, that can take you so far in life. You can be passionate about music, science, math, English, history, philosophy, photography, possibly. Be passionate about one thing and put your heart into it, but don't let it make you miserable. And don't push yourself to the point it's miserable. Find a balance and find that one thing that makes you happy to do, and follow that for the rest of your life.
Awesome.
Yeah, no matter what, always work hard. This is Tarun Martheswaran signing off.
Yeah, you guys want to conclude it? Thanks for
Deem.
coming on, but you got to conclude it now. What is it?
My name is Tarun Martheswaran, and this has been the Deem Stream.
My name is Shilp Shah, and this has been the Deem Stream.